city has taken the necessary steps to prepare for whatever Mother Nature brings our way. I will now turn it over to the city administrator to discuss further the city's snow operation and coordination amongst our agencies. Mr. Administrator.
All right, thank you, Mayor, and good morning. I am Chris Shorter, City Administrator. First, I'd like to thank Director Steve Sharkey for his leadership throughout this storm, throughout the night. I'd also like to thank our snow crews, employees, first responders, and all who have been involved in the response efforts so far. This includes our neighbors who have done their part in keeping their driveways and walkways and sidewalks clear of the storm and storm residue. Your hard work has been noticed by many of our residents who have complimented the city's proactive and diligent response throughout this storm. The Baltimore City Snow Team has been activated since 4 a.m. on Sunday morning. And as the mayor mentioned, even before Sunday morning, we were pre-treating roads. This has been plowing and treating our city streets throughout the storm. Crews have worked throughout the night and prepared the roads for this morning's commute. But with freezing precipitation expected throughout the rest of the day today, our operations will continue with full deployment of forces, including nearly 300 pieces of city equipment, along with approximately 300 additional contracted crews. Snow crews will continue to plow and treat streets in the Jones Falls Expressway and MD 295. Inspection teams will continue to check JFX and 295 along with all other roadways to ensure that city streets are passable throughout the remainder of this storm. Our snow operations will continue to be managed very closely, and I will want to assure you that we will continue to fully work and be committed to providing quick completion of plowing and salting along with major roads and residential streets. At this time, I would like to turn it back over to Mayor Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Administrator. And now we'll hear from Director Sharkey. Mr. Director.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Administrator Shorter. Thank you, everybody. I just do want to, again, echo the thanks to the teams. There's a lot of guys and gals sitting out there driving trucks for 12 hours straight, going home, getting a little sleep, and coming back. So they're working real hard, and I'm really proud of their efforts and what they've been doing over the last couple days and what will continue into this night. So again, we're proud. I'm happy about the teamwork between the different agencies that's been going on. It's been excellent. I want to thank everybody. So I won't even name anybody anymore because I want to thank everybody. So we're currently on our fourth 12-hour shift. We're going to be continuing to focus on bridges, overpasses, 83, or JFX, as those can freeze. So, we've been successful so far, but that does not mean that we can't stay vigilant. The snow, the ice, any little, 1/10 of an inch of ice can really cause problems. So people need to still stay off the roads, be safe, stay home until the storm is completely over and the plows have had their chance to salt and treat all roads. Also, as residents report snow and icy conditions, they can call 311 to make sure that those come into the system, and they'll be checked in due course and addressed in due course. So we want to just assure the residents that we're out there, we're continuing our hard work, and we're going to keep moving throughout the storm. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Sharkey, and thank you and the team again for the great work and that you will continue to do. I want to encourage all of our citizens and residents to continue to take this storm seriously by staying at home if possible. As you heard from the director, we know there are roads in Baltimore. We know the roads that are always treacherous, 83. There are some that are become more treacherous when there's weather. So that at all possible, we're going to be checking them, but you should avoid them. 83, Hilton Parkway, Forest Park through Dickeyville, the streets that you know, here in Baltimore we have accidents on when it's dry. We should try to avoid them at all costs in this kind of weather and remain home whenever possible. We will be treating them, but we know with the weather that there will be icy spots. And again, additional participation is expected today, which will affect driving conditions in the region. Residents who must travel during the storm are advised to take precautions, give time for yourself, and be prepared before driving. We should take caution every time that you're driving in weather like this. Residents are advised to take it slow, very slow on ice and snow, and continue to keep your walkways and sideways shoveled and salted. And as I said yesterday, if you have neighbors who are incapable of doing that, please do it for them. It's the neighborly thing to do, and that's what we all should be doing. Remember, you can visit snow.baltimorecity.gov for updates, and just know that we will be continuing to work for you throughout this storm. And I would like to give a big thank you to everyone who has already, we've seen some of the pictures on the internet, stepped up and shoveled like their neighbor's sidewalks. Thank you so much for doing that. It means a lot for us to, again, showcase the true spirit of Baltimore. And at this time, we'll take a few questions. Paul?
Mr. Mayor, how has this pandemic affected snow response? Typically, we'd be inside, the emergency operations would be packed. How many people are inside? How has that affected it? And also with vaccination clinics, can you address vaccination clinics today and tomorrow?
Yeah, very little. Actually, Director Sharkey isn't inside there. It's the administrator, myself, and just a few other people. It's very limited because of the pandemic. We're treating this is a virtual operation for the most part. We know that I will actually be discussing later on today with the Health Commissioner about what decisions we're going to make for our vaccination clinics for tomorrow. No, we're making that later today, and we'll be definitely letting you know.
Hi there, question for whoever would like to answer. So with this extended weather event, it's particularly unique in that it's a chunk of snow, then ice, and then we're expecting more snow. What can residents expect in terms of timing, in terms of getting these side roads cleared? We see that a lot of these main roads are looking good, at least right now, but things are changing by the hour at this point.
Yeah, I'll let the director come up in a second, but we've been addressing side streets. We've been making sure that they will get to them in time. We've actually provided you guys and the citizens a graphic of how we're going to proceed through those in the city. But Director Sharkey can speak to the timing, and we know that they have been clearing out many of those 311 requests on the side streets already as well. Mr. Director?
Yes, so we have over 400 plows out on the street at the moment. They've been continuously out the storm. Close to 250 to 300 of those are addressing side streets, salting, plowing. So they're out there, they're hitting them. Of course, we always give the gateways and the primaries the first due, but there is a lot of activity on the secondaries as well.
A question for you as well, sir, in terms of staffing. I know you mentioned these 12-hour shifts, but with 48 hours of continued weather coming, what are you doing to ensure that there is that adequate staffing and that people don't feel that burnout?
So there's two shifts. There's the A shift and the B shift. So the A shift comes on at midnight and comes midnight to noon. The B shift works noon to midnight, and they shift on and off, on and off, on and off. It's still difficult, and it's definitely, after you're done 3-4 days, it definitely gets tiring. So the quicker we can get out of this, the better for the staff.
But you do feel that there is enough staff to come in and replenish after that first 12-hour shift, second?
Yeah, so we've split up the staffs into an A shift and a B shift. So there's people that are designated A shift and people that are designated B shift, and that's a full complement of staffing. So each staff, they come in each time.
Thank you, sir.
Last question?
Mayor, going back to vaccines, can you talk about how that not only is this pandemic impacting the vaccination schedule for today, tomorrow, and perhaps even later in the week, but also testing? And are you worried about perhaps a backload or a backlog later this week?
For testing?
And vaccinations.
So again, remember, for vaccinations for today, we're fine. And we're going to make a decision about tomorrow, later today. We know that weather is going to be challenging. This is not just a challenge for us here in the city, but across the state and across the Northeast. We know there's already challenges. Again, I want to say every time I talk to you guys about vaccine, the biggest challenge with vaccine is that there aren't enough vaccines, and we need the federal government to get moving on making sure the vaccines get to the states and to the local governments. We don't, as of right now, think that there's going to be a backlog, but we'll see, and we'll let you guys know. Thank you.
So vaccines today are happening as planned?
So there was no change to the city's vaccine schedule for today.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.